I would like to highlight three main steps that the Macron administration has been taking to fight disinformation since then. The first is the law, is a fake news or false news law. Actually, we already have in our legislation a law on false news dating back from 1881. So it needs an update because the media environment changed, and obviously because of the digital environment, which is something new. And that new law should be passed by the end of July if everything is okay. It has two main elements. One is the strengthening of the powers of the CSA. The CSA in France is the French Media Regulatory Authority. And the goal is to give this body the power to monitor foreign media outlets, to monitor them and even to disaccredit them, to suspend them in case they would attempt interfering, meddling in elections, for example. The other element is imposing obligations on digital platforms, and there are several obligations. One is an obligation to cooperate with authorities, it's pretty obvious. The other one is an obligation of transparency regarding sponsored content. That's the issue of ads online. And there is also a judicial procedure to suspend the diffusion of fake news within 48 hours. It's not 24, it's 48 hours. There is a huge caveat in this law to protect freedom of the press, obviously. And this caveat is that all these would apply only to, I quote, evidently false news benefiting from, I quote, massive and artificial diffusion. So this is the limitation of this first step. The second step is media literacy, and it's been pretty clear and pretty consensual that media literacy is the long-term solution to the fight against disinformation. So the Minister of Culture committed to double her budget for media literacy from 3 to 6 million euros this year. And it is mostly to support civil society activities. And the third is the foreign affairs and defense initiatives that we are trying to initiate, to support. So what we did is that in September, we created a working group between our colleagues from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Policy Planning Staff, the CAPS, and IRSEM, Research Institute of MOD, which I am directing. We created a working group, and our approach was benchmarking. So we toured in 20 countries in Europe and North America. We met with officials and civil society as well. And we conducted over 100 interviews. And now we finished a report, which is a quite big, long report. It's been approved by both ministries. And now we're waiting for the approval of the president. So I cannot officially present the report. It should be released in the coming weeks, actually. What I can tell you is that the title is Information Manipulation, because we don't like the term disinformation. It's not that we don't like it, it's that we think it's too restrictive. The problem is not the intentional spread of false information, because we're not dealing only with false information. Sometimes we're dealing with half-true information or biased information, or only one side of the truth, or some information presented in a very emotional way. In that case, the issue is not falsity or truth. The issue is manipulation. So we find the term information manipulation broader, more inclusive. That's why we're using that term in the report.